Today we're entering Honningsvaag, Norway. We're going to have an overnight stop here. Let's see what the view is from my portside balcony. We are nearing the port of Honningsvaag. The waters are calm and the skies are not threatening any rain. Many ports have a harbor pilot that will join the ship before it docks. These pilots know the harbor well and can offer guidance for safe docking. Once the boat drops off the pilot, it leaves us and we continue on our journey. Our captain tells us that whales inhabit the waters in this bay and are often seen from the ship when they call on this port. We watch and hope, and sure enough we are treated to a teaser. One breaks the water and he makes us wanting more. Our ship rounds the bend and more of Honningsvaag comes into view. Our forward portside cabin allows me to zoom in and watch the action on our ship's bridge. The captain and the crew are all involved with the docking. I'm so happy that we are docking right in town. No water shuttles are needed today. It looks like we will be able to walk right off of the ship to explore and to meet our tour. The docking process always fascinates me. Ropes are thrown out from the ship and the grounds crew ties us up securely. The gangway is stored here at the port, and thanks to some quick time lapse, you can see in a few seconds what took about 8 minutes to accomplish. The gangway is brought over to the ship. Glancing toward the front of the ship gives me a view of the Seabourn Silver Dawn, which was already docked when we arrived. The front of the ship is tied off and secured at the pier now, but the pier is not as long as our ship. A small boat carries the rope from the aft of our ship to some workers along the coastline. They hand off the rope and workers secure it to the pylon on the shore. As soon as they finish setting the gangway, guests begin getting off the ship and the port workers drive the gangway truck away. This little building is where they hook up a hose from the ship so that they can bring water on board while we are docked here in Honningsvaag. It is always crowded as soon as the gangway opens. It seems that everyone on this ship wants to get off ASAP, and they are lined up all the way down the passenger corridor, and we got stuck in the crowd. So one piece of advice: if you don't have to get to an excursion immediately and you are docked in port, give it about 30 minutes after docking before trying to get off the ship. That will let the line die down significantly. The Tourist Information Center here in Honningsvaag hands out city maps and information about various tours that leave from here. We booked a tour in advance online with Blue Puffin Tours. The directions said to meet outside the Tourist Information Center and look for a guide holding a sign for Blue Puffin Tours. That was pretty clear and easy. I will put their contact information in the comments below. We boarded a modern-day motor coach and headed to our first stop to learn about cod fishing and how they dried the cod and how that is vital to this area. We had a little time to walk around the area, ask questions, and take some beautiful scenic photos. Our next stop took us to the Skarsvåg Tourist Center, where we learned about the crab industry, and we got up close and personal with a king crab. You may notice most of the tourists wearing jackets. The weather was cool. Our guide, who lives in Norway year-round, said she had to search for a t-shirt to wear during this heat wave. From here we headed to the far north, North Cape or North Cape. One can head into the visitor center first or can choose to go around the sides for the view. I chose the view. The marker reads, "The North Cape has been an adventure for travelers for hundreds of years as a majestic sailing landmark and as the major destination in the area. It has drawn explorers, royalty, and now you to the north. The steep cliff towers 307 meters above the Arctic Ocean and marks the end point of the European mainland. After admiring those cliff views for a while, we entered the rear entrance to the visitor center. Here I made friends with a couple of Norwegian trolls and then went to see a video about the North Cape. After that, I purchased a postcard from the gift shop to send home, and then into the cafe for some refreshments. Fresh-made waffles with a variety of toppings. I could not choose just one topping, so we got the chocolate sauce, strawberry jam, and brown cheese. The strawberry mixed with the chocolate was my favorite. We paid 49 Norwegian kroner for the waffle, which was about $4.50. We still had a little time, just enough to go back out front of the visitor center to see the sculptures. One is a set of 7 circular sculptures entitled Children of the World. They were created by children who spent 7 days here at the North Cape. These sculptures represent friendship, hope, joy, and working together with the goal of peace on earth. On our way back to Honningsvaag, we stopped at a Sami trading post. The Sami people are reindeer herders. That is where they really live, and one of the herders came out to put out some feed so that we could get a good view of some of his reindeer. Our tour dropped us back off near the ship, and after we boarded, we were treated to several whales stopping by next to the ship to say hi. Since we had an overnight in Honningsvaag, our plan was to be spontaneous and explore the town on day 2. This morning I noticed that the Silver Dawn was gone, and a Hurtigruten ship had taken its place. We ventured up the main street, stopped in a grocery store. It had pretty much everything you might need, from produce to plant food, to snacks and drinks, and I noticed a large supply of heavy-duty extension cords to charge car batteries in the winter maybe. They had a small post office and even a recycling center here. Such a compact and handy store. When choosing which way to go away from the port, it was uphill or uphill, with some level spots along the way. If I zoom in, maybe you can see the ones who chose to do some hiking all the way to the top for some stunning views. I walked up to the church and strolled around the cemetery for a while and then headed back down toward the harbor. Can you imagine living in one of these houses and having that view? I walked along the water's edge on the stone walkway, enjoying the colorful boats in port and this interesting sculpture, and then happened upon the Museum of the North Cape. With bukus of informational placards, photos, videos, and so many displays, I learned more about the Sami people and this area once known as Finnmark. Across the street was another market, and I stopped in there to see if I could find any good Norwegian snacks to take on board the ship. Success! I enjoy chips, and these fit the bill: paprika and salt and pepper. It is almost time to leave. People are lining up to get back onto the ship after a busy day of exploring, and some members of the ship's crew are line dancing as they welcome guests back on board. We have set sail and leaving the port. We could see some whale waterspouts as they said goodbye and good riddance to our ship. Goodbye, Honningsvaag. This is Shirley with Shirley's Journeys, and I hope all of your journeys are pleasant ones.